Okay, so after looking at those two cues, we know we need rhythm, right? So let's look at how we could create that sense of rhythm. The starting point is going to be some kind of drum beat. That's kind of the easiest way to get it. And when I'm working on a scene like this, I'm going to start with a drum beat if it makes sense for it to be in there. If I'm working on something like that project that was all for choir, then I'm not going to put a drum beat in it. Luckily, that didn't have a chase scene. So for that, I'm probably going to use a loop. So let's just go and look at loops. So here are a ridiculous amount of drum loops that I've collected over the years. Let's just randomly. That's not what I want. I want a complete loop. Military drums. That might actually work really interesting. So I'm going to throw that on something here. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to need to make a new track. Couple new tracks. This military drums idea, that could work. Okay, let's use that as one element. And let's throw something like a more straight up beat on it like that. And I'm going to overlap those two if they are in the same tempo or if I can make them in the same tempo. So let's see if they are. Now what I'm doing here, this is like getting into the computer stuff again, but I want to be sure that the computer knows the tempo of this. So the fastest way to find out is to turn on the metronome and then play the loop and see if it's in sync. Nope. Let's try it for the other beat that I did. Yep, that one's in sync. This one isn't. So I need to get this in sync. And in Ableton, I do that with these little warp markers, they're called. So let's see. This is kind of tedious to do, so I'm probably going to cut the video here, but okay. Okay, I think I got this in a way that works well for me. Okay, so let's hear these two at the same time and see if they work. Okay, I'm going to turn the military one down quite a bit. Okay, it certainly creates a lot of motion. Let's roll with that for a minute. I think that'll work. So what I can do here, having two layers, in fact, I might even add a third layer, but I can deal with that later. Well, let's actually do it. Let's add a third layer. What I'm going to do for this third layer is I'm going to take this beat, but I'm going to pull out all of the high stuff. And to do that, I'm just going to use an EQ. Let's just do that. So that one sounds like this. Oh, turn off the metronome. So here's why that's useful. Watch this. Let's say my cue is rocking. I need to do one of those moments where I'm taking away, right, to let the energy focus on the scene for a second. So now we're going to hear this full thing here, and then here we're going to do that taking away thing by going to this other more subdued beat, and then we're going to go back. So check this out. right? So all this is the same beat that I had up here, except I put an EQ on it. I pulled out the high frequencies, so we just get the low stuff, and that's gonna kind of help that like kind of take away motion. It's gonna clean it up for just a minute, and then we're gonna go back to the big chaotic stuff. Now, if you don't have access to a huge archive of beats that you've collected, let me show you something you can do. freesound.org. This is, if you took my sampling class, you know this website. This is a website where I've got a lot of my samples from. What you can do is just search for like drum loop. And all of the samples that you'll find on this website are free and royalty free, more importantly, meaning that you can use them in your stuff and you don't have to worry about getting sued. That's an okay one. It's got a little swing to it. That's like a whole track. That could work for something. Let's look at this one. That could work. You know, that could work really well for what we're doing. That's a good one. So lots of stuff here. All you have to do is click on it, and then you can download it. You have to log in to download, but it's free to make a login. So I highly recommend set up an account on this website. It's totally free, and start building a library of stuff. Like I have this sample library. I have a whole hard drive devoted to just audio samples of stuff. So check that out. Okay, now that we've got a little groove going here, let's move on and talk about one of the other elements. Brass swells. I thought we'd devote a little extra time just to brass swells because it's worth devoting time to.